If you don't know who we are, you're new here tuning into the Scaling Lean Weekly Live. I'm Nina Brennan, and I'm joined by Jonathan Ploransky, my co-founder here at Scaling Lean. And every single week we go live at 11 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, and we share the tidbits of the sustainable scaling in the online space, talking about wins and losses, successes and failures that not only we see, but we experience with our clients every single quarter, week, month, etc., and even by the year now. So something that we've been leaning into recently is a lot about email marketing follow-up processes, but we have 4 topics that we really want to dive in today. I'm going to let you cover that, JP. So with that being said, welcome, happy holidays, and we're ready to go.
Yeah, awesome. Welcome everyone. This is a live interactive Q&A style. We're going to do like a live interactive, right? So let us know if you have any questions on anything we're going to go over. We're basically going to come to you with 5 different fundamentals on how to turn your engagement into people that are buying. And then we're also going to go over the 5 most important things that you should be doing every single day to generate revenue inside of your business. So I did prepare a bit of a document. We're going to screen share in just a moment. And then we'll give you access to this document so you can hit the ground running in the new year, right? Because this is the time of year we're making new intentions for our business and growth and things like that. And along the way, we're going to share some valuable insights and directions Nina and I have been pushing into recently to help support some of the newer users that have come into Conversion Pro and into our ecosystem to support their growth as well. Because we like to bring things forward once we start to verify and validate things. So we have been working on a little bit of some different nuanced strategies over the past quarter, and we want to bring those to you guys right now so you can hit the ground running in Q1 of 2025. That being said, Nina, do you have anything, or should we just jump right in?
Well, let's hop into topic number 1. I have some information that I want to bring to the table with looking at it.
Let her rip.
Yeah, so topic number 1, or the 4 things first we're going to cover is 4 components every business needs to grow. And 1 is new eyeballs, or whether it's free or paid, whether you're running paid traffic or you're spending time building your social media platforms. Number 2 is conversations, whether you're running a manual game, you hire a virtual assistant, or you are sending automated outbound, whether it's email or LinkedIn or Facebook, etc. Make offers every single day. Offer doesn't have to necessarily be buy my product or service. It could simply be join my newsletter, engage with my content, let's start a conversation, something like that. It doesn't have to be money in pocket in order for you to make an offer. And the last thing is get your existing customers to buy more. So this means cross sells, upsells, downsells, etc. Make sure you're actively communicating with the clients that you do have, even if they just buy into a low ticket product, so you know whether or not they're ready to move forward, and keep engaging with them and seeing what they need. So with that being said, JP, let's hop into topic number 1.
Yeah, for sure. Without these 4 components, you're basically going to stay stuck in your own way. These are the 4 core components you need to be doing every single day, no matter what, right? So new eyeballs for your paid, conversations, making offers, and getting existing customers. So yeah, now what we're going to do here is we're going to hop into how to take your social media engagement, so your likes, your follows, your people that are commenting. And if you're not at this level yet, don't worry. We're going to break down how to get to that level very shortly at the end of this. But first and foremost, what you want to be doing is creating valuable content that demonstrates your expertise, no matter what niche you're in, right? Whether it's relationships, make money online, finance, your attorney, whatever that is, you want to be providing value in the form of tips, tutorials, insights that showcase your knowledge genuinely to help your audience, right? So you want to consistently provide that value forward through your content every single day. And what that will really do for you is build that like, know, and trust for people to come and want to learn more about what you're doing, right? And that kind of segues us directly into, Nina, the email list building, right? We've been a huge advocate of building email lists, right? No matter what level of business owner you are, you should have some type of lead magnet that aligns with your product or service that will give that person a way to consume more information and bridge the gap between who you are as your personal brand or business to the product or service that you are delivering as a transformation, no matter what that looks like, right? So that should be definitely a primary focus in your initial phase of growth, because if you don't have even a basic offer of a lead magnet, it's going to be very difficult for you to probably start a conversation and or to get people to move deeper into your ecosystem.
Absolutely. And I want to bring up a highlight here of something that we just did with one of our clients. And the whole goal was the incentive to build the email list and get a list of leads before January, because he's an accountant. And something that we did was we started running paid advertising to a lead magnet. And now he's getting between $5 and $7 leads. We're still seeing if we can convert them into calls, but who knows? It's not yet tax season. So it's like every single day we're getting 15, 20 leads into the ecosystem. We could run a promo cycles and see if the messaging is working. And once the message is proven, because we're getting people through the door, all it takes is getting somebody on the phone and getting somebody to close. So that's also something that we need to talk about is building the email list with not only just leads, but the right kind of leads that are actually going to buy your product and services over time. Because people that enter the email list that aren't really engaged, don't really care about who you are, they're not opening your emails. That's not really valuable to you. You're just wasting money on leads. So it's really getting the right leads onto the email that's going to onto the email list that are going to stay engaged, stay active, and consume, and maybe even eventually buy, because that's the whole incentive of building this list.
Absolutely. And that's why we believe in daily content creation, because you can test those angles, those different languages to really connect with your audience and then go deeper with your lead magnets to move them through quicker or to formulate better lead magnets that will bridge the gap to your products or services. One little insight that I want to put here, Nina, is I think the magic number, no matter if you're building a community asset, an email list, really a text list, a CRM, really the magic number that we found, I think, is 1,000, right? Like once you start to get to that 1,000 mark on your email list or in your community, that's when the compounding effect really starts to happen. So if you're at the very, very base level, this is probably going to take you 6 months to a year to get to that 1,000 mark. I mean, we've built communities even faster than that in 2 or 3 months to 1,000 people, right? You know, so it could happen very quickly, but have a distance mindset. If people are opting into your lead magnet, but they're not converting initially, and we're going to talk about the power of compounding here in a minute, it's very important that you keep your head in the game for the long term. So that, yeah, with that being said, the third most important thing on how to move people from your social media engagement to paying clients is to share your authentic success stories and case studies from the clients you are working with right now. And if you don't have clients right now, then it's going to be your case study of how you are building your email list or whatever the thing is that your specialty, like whatever specialty you're working in, right? So do your best to include specific details about the challenges that you're facing and overcoming to get to the transformation that you are desiring or your clients are desiring.
Yeah, I think something that's important here about talking about the authenticity and success stories and sharing case studies, whether it's yourself or the clients that you work with, it's knowing the character that you are and presenting yourself as online. So there's a couple of different ways that you can show yourself online, whether you are the leader who has already done it and you're coming back to tell the story, or the crucible who's really just telling the story as you go through. I forget the other two that Russell Brunson breaks down, but realistically, at the end of the day, you could be somebody who's doing like an interview style that it's this is exactly what other people are doing and you're just reporting on the process, or if you're doing it yourself and you're bringing back knowledge, or if you've already done it and this is how you do it based on the trajectory that you've done for yourself or for your clients. And people like consistency. Typically, if you are writing one way, you're going to be writing in this style as you are presenting yourself on social media. So really lean into that one or two character that you want to be or want to present yourself as, and it's going to make it so much easier to write from those points of view.
Yeah, and this is something that, again, it's going to take some time for you to find the micro stories, micro parables, and the big story, right? It's going to take some time to develop those stories and paths that you're going on through your transformation. Because as a business owner, you're likely iterating as you go as well. So your stories will evolve as you grow, and that's completely fine. And you're going to find your voice as you build this. And it's once you find those stories that hit, though, like it's amazing what can happen because your people will really connect with what you're doing. So man, we could go into stories all day long. If you want to hear more about stories, drop them below. I have gotten a lot of feedback lately about people wanting to learn more about storytelling. So drop a hashtag stories below if you want to go deeper on that in another live. So the fourth thing that's super important is having a clear path from your free stuff to your paid stuff, right? Because oftentimes what can happen is we call it like leaky pipeline syndrome, you know, right? Like we kind of can have that, okay, we just generated 100 new leads with the launch of a lead magnet. But then we maybe lost track with them if we didn't have the proper CRM or the proper tracking system, no matter what that looks like for you if you're newer. We have everything segmented very down very meticulously so we can see when those people are moving through the things they've seen in the past, and we can kind of understand at a deeper level what their sales cycle will look like. So you really want to have a clear ascension model from your entry point to your newsletter or your engagement on social media, all the way to collecting cash on the phone lines or from a Google Doc or whatever that looks like for you.
Yeah, I think something to mention here, JP, is we were on the journey for a long time of sharing our 21 touchpoint marketing system that we do copy and paste into a lot of businesses that are similar to ours, and it does work. But understanding the buyer's journey for each individual business and how it's not going to be copy and paste from any other business. The tonality has to be a little bit different. The way that you speak to your clients, maybe they require a couple more touch points. So understanding how your buyers navigate through what we call the buyer's journey, or it's a very common term inside of the marketing space, but if you don't know what it is, it's how your customers navigate through content and material in order to go from stranger to buyer and even beyond. So it's understanding how what your audience resonates with, whether it's videos or it's ebooks or it's long form content. who you're actually speaking to inside of this buyer's journeys, what assets are going to make them move down your sales pipeline and marketing pipeline, and then really just take action to become a client or prospect or buy the product or service that you are portraying to have. So it's very important. So you're not going to find it just from anyone on the internet. Most are custom built buyer's journeys, even though they do resemble a very similar trajectory at the end of the day. But once you nail it down, sky's the limit with how many people you get through the door, how many people you can move into clientele, etc. So
Yeah, absolutely. And this kind of goes back into our pre-frame of the four business things you need to grow your business, right? We need to be making offers, right? Oftentimes people just don't make enough offers. They're making a free lead magnet and they're afraid to ask someone to get on a phone call, or they're afraid to ask them to make a purchase on a course, right? So that's definitely part of this as well, is making those offers to the people that are in that mid to low area of the funnel that have already been nurtured properly, right?
mhm.
All right. So then the fifth thing that I think is the most important, Nina, is really engaging with your audience through direct messaging, comments, and live sessions. And I think what goes hand in hand with this for me is actually engaging with other people in your niche as well, right? Because you have the laws of reciprocity. If you and I are commenting on each other's posts, it's just going to help us grow, right? And add value to what we're doing. So whether they're in the same niche or a different niche, but either way, you definitely want to be following up with your comments quickly, like not days, like hours. And you also want to be sending some messages to the people that are liking and commenting and having more of a relatable conversation. I'm not saying to spam the whole social media Facebook area, but the people that are showing and raising hands and showing interest in what you're doing, definitely reach out to them and have a conversation in a one-to-one format.
Yeah, I think it's also very important to mention email and SMS. So of course you want to gather people onto your email. So you're talking about more outward facing on social media. Let's talk a little bit about the nurturing process internally, what we do. So every single time somebody opts into our email list, we also gather their phone number. So a couple of things that we do is we segment our list and then we have like personalized conversations with people where it's like you can send one-off emails inside of our CRM, conversionpro.io. You can send off one-off or even group messages based on list segmentation inside of our CRM as well. So having simple conversations, even if it's just like a quick, not a catch-up text, but more so of like a poking the bear kind of text to get somebody to answer and see where they are, what they've been up to, and just forming real connections with the people that take interest in you, take interest in them. Of course, the incentives are a little bit different, but at the end of the day, both of you are trying to reach the same outcome. So I think that's really important too. It's don't only do it on social media. Once you get their email, don't forget that they actually trusted you enough to give you that kind of valuable information. Same with a phone number, and respect it, but use it wisely.
Absolutely. I see some folks on here. Are you getting value out of this? Do you want us to even tell you about the five most important daily activities or just roll through? Just wondering, drop any questions below. We do love the engagement. So with that being said, I guess we can move on, right?
Yeah, I think we're good to go.
All right. So these are the five most important daily activities, no matter what platform you're on, and these should take no more than 1 to 2 hours per day. Um, I, we've been doing this for literally years, Nina, right? Whether it's on the paid side or the organic side, no matter where we are, right? And the most important thing, obviously, has to be creating daily content, right? No matter what platform, pick one and just do one post a day, right? It can be that simple, and it should be that simple. And you want to bring all the storytelling and the case studies, your beliefs, all those micro parables that we talked about early on. All those things should be going into that daily content. It should be intriguing, it should be entertaining, and it should always be in the format of the prospect thinking like, what's in it for me, right? So think about what they want to hear and what they want to see, because ultimately you're creating the content for them. And I did put here 80% value and 20% call to action. Now, that doesn't mean like you can't ask people to follow you and repost and all this stuff. Like that is like a micro or soft call to action. But like the 80% value should be, again, going towards like what they want or their desire. And then the call to action would be like your newsletter or your low ticket product or a call to book a call, like these type of things, right?
Yeah, and something that we have definitely changed over time was we used to be very direct response and call to action heavy every single day, or it was more so like 80% heavy call to action and direct response, rather than building that trust and rapport, not only through like the knowledge and like the forcefulness, but now we're more so like the attraction-based content of making sure if we are posting, we're letting people engage rather than just buy. So I think that's important to note here as well.
Got it. Yeah. Love that, Nina. And Bob Stewart just chimed in. Do you prepare a content calendar and use any automations for posting, or do you just elbow grease through it? So I've recently really leaned into really focusing my time to bulking and then scheduling. For the longest time, I was kind of just posting every day. Both work and both are super effective, but I'm kind of testing out the planning model recently, and I feel more aligned with it because it's just a more focused um, time block for me to kind of just get all my thoughts out from the week and focus on more of like a strategic rollout. Nina, do you have anything to put on that for you? Because we everyone operates different, right?
Yeah, it depends on the platform, and it definitely is. Like Instagram is more like you have to post natively on the platform. So a scheduler, like you can definitely schedule, but we definitely got more reach when we were posting natively on Instagram and also on TikTok. Facebook as well. I don't even know if there's a way to post on your personal page, but correct me if I'm wrong. But we always elbow greased it on Instagram. LinkedIn is pretty good to schedule. I'm more of an intuitive writer. Right now I'm kind of practicing because we are testing new messaging. And that when we're doing that, I'm more of like a every day I sit down for like 20 to 30 minutes. I write my content and get it out and move along with my day. Same time every day. And if the thoughts don't flow, I give myself 20 minutes to finish the post at the middle of the day. But it is different for everyone. A lot of times scheduling content, it doesn't agree with the algorithm as much as if you just post it natively on the platforms, from what I've seen, JP.
Yeah, I would say that particularly with Meta, I've definitely noticed that with Meta in particular. One other thing I want to just put on this, like LinkedIn for me, like recently, I've been scheduling more there.
Mhm.
And I've been really taking the time in the morning to really do this second tip right here, which is engaging with your audience, right? Whether that's people that are engaging with your posts in your messenger or reaching out to people. So I've been kind of time blocking that more directly and with more like intention. And I feel that maybe that is helping boost it a bit, but it's kind of, again, it's like hit or miss. Like it's probably the same either way, to be honest. But we definitely did notice with pre-scheduling with Meta in particular, did not really like that. Um,
I do like that you have number two is like engage meaningfully. I feel like no matter what platform you're on, JP, unless you're engaging, it doesn't matter. It's like you could post until the cows come home on any social media platform, but the real engagement is going to stir up like when you can't keep up with your notifications. The same thing on Facebook. Like we used to post once a day, we kind of still post like 3 to 5 times a week. The more I engage with other people, the more Facebook is showing my stuff to other people's algorithm. Same thing on LinkedIn. Because LinkedIn is very hard to like get on people's timelines unless you are actively active on LinkedIn. And I'm talking when I say actively active, it's like posting, liking, commenting, reading the full post through, and doing it in a way that LinkedIn is going to respond rather than just think you're a bot because there are a lot of bots out there on LinkedIn.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, social media platforms were meant to be social, right? So they will reward you if you are on the platform, for the most part, right? Definitely don't be spammy here or anything. Just add value, in whatever way you can. Even if it's just like awesome post, XYZ, love the point about blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm not saying make every single one that way. Definitely like spend time to comment meaningfully, right? I'm not, don't spam people and all this type of thing, right? It definitely goes a long way because then you grow your ecosystem, and you can friend more people, and all those wonderful things come along with that as well.
Before
Um,
we move on to three, I will say this too. It's like people can tell when you have like automated responses that are set up through chatbots. So if you are somebody who's on Facebook, I could think of like four people off the top of my head that they're on every single post and they're sometimes the automation is wrong. People will know. And like Facebook also picks up on that stuff because other people are going to be like calling you out and things. So just be careful with that if you are looking to implement automation inside of this like strategy. Make sure if you are going to use automation, keep it humanized. And I would just say act like a human on social. So use your skills or put a VA on it if you're going to do it where you don't want to do it.
Absolutely. So number three here, and the most important thing to do every day is really showcase your authentic experience in some type of way. Um, that could be like a story post or in your normal post. It could be through an interaction, right? Like we just talked about. And what we really want to try to do here is we're being kind of repetitive with the storytelling thing, but that's really what honestly has been really successful for us, Nina, is like bridging the gap through storytelling because there's just so many reasons why. Like look at the history of the world, right? Like look at the Bible and like massively important things, right? Like it's like as human beings, we all enjoy stories. We all enjoy like kind of seeing ourselves and envisioning ourselves at that bigger level that someone's at through storytelling. It just builds intimate connection. So definitely work on your storytelling and showcase that if possible every single day. I feel like that's a super important thing, whether that's in an email, social post, an automated follow-up, a message, anything like that.
What's
Yeah,
number four? Let's move on.
sure thing. So number four, I just put studying analytics and adapt accordingly, right? So where I was coming from with this is like you don't want to just be doing the same thing over and over again if you're not getting results, right? So definitely take time during your week and or month and or quarter to reflect on the things that are working and not working. What I mean by that is if you're posting every day, you're likely going to have 2 or 3 posts a week that get more impressions than the other 4 or 5, right? So be in awareness of what that is and have your marketer cap on and be like, why did that work? What was the angle? What was the wording? What was the positioning, right? And one of the best things we can do as marketers and business owners is reuse the things that are working, right? We don't have to constantly be creating and creating and creating on a nonstop conveyor belt, right? We can utilize past swipe files from known good creators, our own swipe files from stuff from last year, 6 months ago. People aren't going to remember 6 months ago, right? And if they do, they're a raging fan and they're probably your clients, right? So it's not really a huge deal. And I just wanted to really bring analytics into there because there is a lot of data in business and it's important not to get super bogged down by it, but it is important to reference it to keep momentum moving forward and identifying the things that are working.
Absolutely. And like something that we do resonate with here is marketing is math, and everything that we're talking about right now is really just like marketing into the sales process. So when you are looking at numbers, it's double down on what is working. If you write something and people aren't resonating, or if you write an email, people aren't opening it or clicking on the things that you say inside the email, maybe not the topic to write about again. But if you are getting the likes, getting the comments, getting the email opens, getting the clicks, it's probably a good sign that you should lean more into the content that we're talking about.
Absolutely. Love that. And number 5, what I came up with here, Nina, was expand your network strategically by connecting with peers, collaborators, or industry leaders. So this is something that I'm really going to be far more intentional about in 2025. And I just want to bring that forward. Like leverage other bigger creators to create flow into your environment, right? Give a shout out to Alex Ramosi or Dan Martell or a big creator that's up the road from you. Because oftentimes when you tag them in a post or reference it, some of their traffic's going to come by, or even if they'll come by and see your post, right? And if you can keep yourself in awareness of opportunities to get on a podcast, get on a live event, even reference a post that resonates with your niche, there's massive opportunity to get in someone else's flow and it'll create massive growth for you. So I really believe that that should be something every day that is front of mind to really building your name and your brand and your relationships through your clients and all types of things, because they'll connect the dots with bigger creators and even people that are below you, right? Like build your entire ecosystem. Anything
I feel like we definitely cover this like tremendously, but it really is just a matter of the way to grow on social media and really line clients from social media is at the end of the day, the market has shifted from like mass, like in your face bro marketing to really more of a human-centric style of marketing that is building your network and getting like the know, like, and trust in the people that you are surrounded with as those close peers that you're talking about, JP, or it's just the audience that you're building. People are looking for more of like a human-to-human connection. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to be the person that's doing the work they sign you as a client, but people are looking for relatability. They're looking for some personalization, and that's what's going to grow your socials and also your business in 2025 and beyond. So with that being said, we could wrap it up.
Absolutely. So there was one question before we hop off from Scott Smith. He asked, what is the number one most important thing every single day? I think that's kind of hard, Nina, but I would say it all kind of boils down to that daily posting, right? Or it could be engaging too. It's kind of hard between.
Yeah, daily post, daily engagement, period.
Absolutely. So if you're not posting, you better be engaging with someone else's stuff or intersecting in someone else's group to grow your list or offer value. That's definitely, it's got to be number one. It's just conversations, right? And making that leads to offers and all the things. So yeah, with that being said, hope you all receive some value from this. Thought it would be a good idea to put something like this together before the new year, set some intentions behind moving your engaged followers to paid clients. We all like money, right? So with that being said, Ian, do you have anything else before we end this one?
I just want to wish everybody happy holidays, whatever holiday that it is you celebrate or you don't celebrate holidays in just the new year. Just everybody have a safe, healthy, fun, family-filled, love-filled holiday season. So with that being said, I think we can sign off.
Great on. Have a good one.